Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. I'm Jim. Hope you're having a great day. I'm here in the office, reorganized a little bit. It's changed my desk. I need to move this surfboard over there and put some lights over here. For those of you who are watching this on YouTube or somewhere else, we'll just keep doing what we're doing and it'll be audio first. So today we're talking about how to find your genius, finding your zone of genius. And so what I mean by this is your zone of genius is the space that you occupy where you feel like you are just a complete and total rock star, and then you just own that space, whatever it is. And it can be super niched down. It can be something like, hey, I'm going to be the best speaker in the world about a specific character in Dungeons and Dragons. Or I'm going to be the best speaker in the world about how to use Excel for financial projections. Whatever it is, finding your zone of genius is so incredibly important. I want to tell you a little story about surfing in Hawaii several years ago that I think alludes to this finding your zone of genius. Some background: I grew up on the East Coast. I learned to surf in Newport, Rhode Island. Shout out to First Beach. I have been surfing for probably close to 30 years. And I would, if I'm being really nice, I would say that I am a decent surfer at best. There are times I've been good, and there's times where I'm just complete trash. I've also had a lot of surgeries, so I've been out of the water a lot. But I love surfing. I love everything about it. I love being out in nature. I love the fact that you don't bring your phone. Nobody can call you. Nobody can email you. But anyway, so I've gone to Hawaii a bunch of times to surf. Love it over there. And there's this break on Maui, this surf break, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but I believe it's Ukumehame. Ukumehame, which is right before you drive into Lahaina in Maui. This is obviously long before the fires. And this break, this little beach, if you would call it a beach, is probably a parking lot of about 20 spaces that basically opened up to a tiny little grass area and then into a little bit of a sandy beach. And then you go there, there's a bit of a jetty, and you paddle out and you start surfing there. So for whatever reason, every time I've been to Maui, and every time I surf Ukumehame, anytime I surf that park, I am like the best surfer I've ever been. Whatever it is, I'm just unstoppable there. Like, I catch every wave, I can ride waves backwards, I'm nose riding, I'm doing all the things that I literally can't do anywhere else in the world, but for whatever reason, this spot is a magical spot for me. It is truly a zone of genius for me. And when I'm there, I paddle out, whether there's 5 people in the water or there's 100 people in the water, I know I'm going to be one of the best ones. I have a ton of confidence that when I go out there, that I'm going to do really well, just because I have a history of doing well in it. And for whatever reason, this zone of genius for me is in this little postage stamp of a beach break in Maui, Hawaii. So the reason I bring that up is that when you're able to find your zone of genius and really figure out like where you're at, it is incredibly empowering, obviously, right? Because you feel super comfortable, super confident, you feel open about everything happening around you, and you can recognize that you're really in one of your power places, like one of the places where you feel the strongest. So I would challenge you from a public speaking perspective, if you struggle with public speaking, is to think of what those power places are for you. Where are you most comfortable? Where do you excel? Where are you most at home? Where are you most confident? And try to bring those into your speaking. So let's say you are a God, why can't I talk today? You are a world-class crocheter. You're just like the greatest crocheter of sweaters in the world, and you feel super, super comfortable with crocheting, making sweaters or blankets or whatever. I would tell you, bring that into the speeches that you're giving or the presentations you're giving, because your natural excitement and your natural expertise will help you, even if you're doing a presentation that's like on financial projections for a company. There's a way for you to bring crochet into that somehow. It will actually work to calm you down, and it'll actually connect you to something that you're really good at, and it'll bring you to a place where you're able to recognize that you're in one of your power places. So try to bring in, first thing is to recognize where your power places are. That's the first thing. And the second one is to really bring them into your meeting. So it doesn't have to be crochet. It could be Dungeons and Dragons. It could be sports. It could be working out. It could be running. It could be making pottery. It could be reading poetry, whatever. You might be one of the world's best experts on like Miles Davis and his music. Bring those into your presentation. I always tell people, focus on what you're good at and what you really enjoy and things that bring you into your power place. Bring those into your presentation, even if the presentation isn't about that. If, for example, you were giving a presentation on company projections and you had to go over some financial numbers, and let's just say it's a boring financial projection meeting. God knows I've been in plenty of those. And Miles Davis is just like your thing. It's like where you know all about it. Miles Davis excites you. You recognize that when you're talking about Miles Davis, you're in a power place for yourself. You might weave into the presentation that like, hey, I spent as much time on this presentation as Miles Davis did on his 4th album, which is one of his seminal work. Or when Miles Davis was practicing, he would often fall asleep with his trumpet right by his mouth because he would practice until he couldn't sleep anymore. And that's about how much time I put into this slide deck. Whatever it is, find a way to bring something from your power place into your presentation. And again, for me, it is surfing in Ukamahame, which hopefully I'm pronouncing that right now. Ukamahame, that is a power position place for me. Unfortunately, I live in San Diego, so it's nowhere near me. It's 3,000 miles away. But recognize where your power places are, because that will help you find your zone of genius. And as much as possible, try to be in your zone of genius during a presentation or during a talk. Okay, more stuff on this in the future. We're also doing a free event. I want to tell you about a free event. We're doing a free event next week. If you go to happytospeak.com and click on the Contact Us button, we're doing a free Zoom call, and that's Wednesday, February 12th at 6 p.m. It's going to go probably about an hour. I'm sorry, Wednesday, February 12th at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. It's going to go about an hour. It's free. Come join us if you can. Send us a message on the site and just put group call in the subject line, and we'll send you out the invite. Okay, thank you so much for being here, and I'll talk to you soon.